I've had some great archery deer hunts in South Dakota in the last couple of years. This year, I'm excited to be taking along my good friend Brad Billngsley, who has never hunted South Dakota. With over-the-counter non-resident tags, plenty of walk-in ground to hunt, and the option to hunt both whitetail and mule deer, it has quickly become one of my favorite hunts of the year and is a great pure hunting opportunity.
There they are. Dang it.
As if it wasn't tough enough already. I see antler tips are coming, all 7 of them.
Oh no.
Victory begins with a single step. It is formed in strategy, tested by adversity, and forged with an iron will. But for victory to be pure, it must be earned. Join Willie Schmidt on an epic quest to rediscover the last, best, pure hunts that are accessible to everyone, if they're willing to go the extra mile.
Pure Hunting is brought to you by Browning, the best there is. Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products. Clean Shot, the makers of Knockout, the frustration-free lighted knock. Fox Pro, high-performance game calls. And by The Wedge by Extreme Hunting Solutions. Positions your trail camera properly every time. The new Barnett Razor. Razor light, razor fast. And Tenzing. Go further, hunt longer.
Willie and Brad have driven through the night to arrive at their South Dakota deer camp, where they will be hunting both whitetail and mule deer for 5 days.
Well, welcome to South Dakota.
Yeah, long drive through the night, but it's pretty out here.
It's gorgeous. I think we'll hunt some walk-in this morning and get a good vantage point where I hunted a bunch last year.
Just looking forward to a fun hunt. I'm kind of mesmerized by this country.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get out of here
Okay.
and I'll show you the area and see if we can put some deer to bed this morning.
South Dakota offers lots of opportunities for hunters. There's a wide variety of wildlife, and with its walk-in program, there's a lot of access for the public land hunter as well.
So we'll get over there just a couple hundred yards. We'll be able to glass all of this. And I mean, this is truly walk-in ground. I mean, if you kill something way back there, it's a game card or packing it back out. It's all accessible, but we can't go driving back in there. But this is a great vantage point up here.
South Dakota's walk-in program incentivizes landowners to open up their private land for use by the public free of charge. As the name implies, all vehicles are prohibited. The guys reach an overlook to glass from, and they immediately spot animals.
Coyotes up there.
There's deer everywhere. Over there.
There's a group of 7 bucks.
The one in the middle's not bad.
From here, it looks like it's a buck we ought to give a second look to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're probably a mile away.
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you say we go down to that road and cut the distance and see if we can at least go in and try to get a closer look whether they're stalkable or not, but just see if it's worth it.
The guys head to the truck to relocate to a spot closer to the deer, and they set up a spotting scope to get a closer look at the bucks.
He's decent.
Based on what I've seen here the last couple of years, he's definitely worth going after.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Brad heads up higher to see if a stalk is possible, while Willie hangs back to watch.
One that I'm focused on, I think it's still bedded up here, but I'm gonna have to make sure I keep an eye for those extra deer. That's the Badland cliff. I think I'm still about 200-300 yards away. I think I might be exposed when I get up here. The wind's good, but the terrain's not. It's gonna be wide open, actually a valley in between. And I don't want to risk blowing them out. I think I'm gonna back out. Come back to this afternoon to see what we find. Maybe we can get into a better position.
Unfortunately, Brad has to back out to avoid the risk of busting the deer from their beds. He and Willie head back to the cabin for the middle of the day to practice with their bows before the afternoon hunt.
Dead center again.
I mean, that's a dead animal right there.
Oh yeah.
After having some lunch and confirming that their bows are spot on, Willie and Brad head back to where they had bedded the bucks in the morning, and they spot the bucks immediately.
There they are.
They were already up when we pulled up.
Still there?
I don't see them right now, but there's that roll between us and them.
So we got what, about a mile and a half up the draw, you think?
At least a mile.
Wind's good.
Yep.
Well, hopefully we can just get up there, pop over with the heads-up decoy and smoke them. There they are, right in the shadow. We get up to this tree, and then hopefully we can get behind some of these cliffs.
The guys move in closer and closer, but are busted by a group of deer that they didn't know were bedded in the badlands below.
Oh, there's those right down there. They saw us.
Yeah, there are two really nice bucks.
They're all the way right here. Oh no, they're spooked.
I didn't see the ones in the grass at first. I just saw the silhouette of the one in the badlands. That's what you always worry about, the ones you don't know that are around that you bust. And unfortunately, they busted straight at those bucks.
With the deer moving out of sight and daylight fading fast, the guys have to call it quits for the day.
Oh no.
Yep, here we go.
It's day 2 of Willie and Brad's deer hunt, and they decide to hunt separately for the day. But the day passes with Brad not seeing a single deer, while Willie, despite seeing a decent buck, passes on it.
It's always tough to pass on something that comes broadside 35 yards. But it's going to be a whitetail. I think it's got to be a little better.
It's day 3 of the hunt, and the guys are a little frustrated after seeing only does and a small buck in the morning.
It's been a little disappointing. We're not seeing the deer on this property we did last year. It's going to be a tougher hunt.
But the afternoon gets off to a great start. Brad is hunting out of a tree stand for the afternoon, while Willie heads to a different piece of public property known as the school ground, where he has seen deer in years past.
Whoa, there's a rattlesnake. Yep, here we go. Probably close to a 3-foot-long prairie rattler. He's a big one, but a lot of his tail's missing. I've always loved snakes. I've always caught them and everything. It's pretty impressive. They are cool creatures. Just don't want to back into another one.
Finally getting to his overlook, Willie spots a couple of good bucks below him near the trees.
He's looking at me through the cedar tree. Yeah, he's looking right up here. Pretty bucks. Man, that 4x4 is awesome. We are right at the corner of the state ground. They're on the private that we can't hunt. There's no way they'll work up this way because I think they got my wind a little bit, but it's fun to finally see some deer. It's frustrating that you can't go after them.
Brad only sees one small buck from the tree stand before the sun sets, and he heads back to the cabin. It's day 4, and Brad and Willie start the morning at separate lookouts.
I'm sitting up here on one of my favorite lookouts. You can see a ton of ground. Some of what we can see is stuff that we can't hunt. It kind of gives you a sense of what's around here. Brad's just down the ridge, probably half a mile. Got a different vantage point and a different lookout. Still a little disappointing and frustrating on the numbers of deer compared to years past. It's supposed to be a change in the weather after today, so maybe it'll keep the deer on their feet. She's with 3 more does. No bucks, though. Well, Brad just texted me that they've got a couple of deer and one potential good buck spotted, so I'll move around, go check them out, and help them maybe figure out whether it's worth stalking or not, since I know the country a little bit better than he does.
Willie joins up with Brad to make a plan on the deer Brad saw, but it's not visible when Willie arrives.
You seen anything?
Not in a while. I think there's a buck. I don't know, a mile plus down in a draw. We got does all around, but The only bucks I've seen on this side are a mile plus.
That big ridge is on the school piece with all those draws where we saw some of those deer go into. So it's just really a matter of the wind and figuring out a way to get in there.
With no bedded bucks to go after, the guys call it a morning. They plan to return in the afternoon to glass from a location closer to where Brad saw the bucks. It's the afternoon of day 4, and Brad and Willie are heading to a lookout closer to where Brad saw the bucks in the morning.
So if you go in and get kind of on that west side and sit up there in glass and some of those badlands and draws below, I'll go in up here and get on this side of that ridge, and we can communicate the best we can. We'll be seeing a lot of the same stuff, but you'll certainly see stuff we won't, and vice versa.
The guys head up the ridge of the badlands and split up when they get to the top.
Man, what a pretty evening. It is kind of nice to kind of enjoy the last little bit of decent weather we're gonna have. I think there's a whole bunch right down here in this ravine. That's where I saw what I think was the biggest buck of this morning drop in there. So if I can just get that one chance to put it together, that'd be perfect.
From the other end of the ridge, Willie is glassing his area.
Whoa, look at that one. Just spotted what looks like a pretty good 8-point. It's at least a half mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile, but we got quite a bit of light left. We're gonna get aggressive and go for it. Gonna keep way up and around. We got a good wind for it. Give it a shot. That's what we're here for.
Willie hurries to get to the draw where the buck is, hoping to get there without spooking him and before the buck leaves the area.
There's Willie. He must be going after that buck.
Losing light. I'm gonna take a chance and run. He didn't come in. Fence line went down in there and started working up the draw.
Willie's still stalking that 8-pointer. About half mile away. He's taking a long time. I think he's in tight. I'm just gonna see if I can see anything move out of that draw.
Vanishing act. There it could be anywhere. Dang. I'm heading back to the truck. It's supposed to be a change in the weather. It's supposed to be a chance of rain snow mix, so see what that does to us and the deer.
Back at the cabin, Brad is grilling up some pronghorn for dinner.
Get it down to the precise 16. Boom! Oh yeah!
This does not suck.
Yeah, man. Fun week, huh?
I really hate when stuff comes down to the wire.
This was last day. This was last hour. Just ended strong tomorrow.
See, antler tips are coming, all 7 of them. Thanks so much for watching the show. To keep updated with what we're doing, check us out at purehunting.com or on Facebook at Facebook.com/purehunting.
It's the last day of Brad and Willie's South Dakota deer hunt. A change in the weather brought a light dusting of snow and colder temperatures. The guys head out separately before sunup.
I've got my eyes on a nice whitetail down below in the bottoms. Can't tell if it's an 8 or a 9, but through my binoculars, he looks pretty wide. Now, figuring out how to spot and stalk the whitetail down in that bottom is going to be very interesting, but from here I can loop all the way around on top. Just keep peeking down.
Brad heads down into the river bottom to try to find the buck. If he can't locate the buck, he will try some rattling and grunting to bring the buck out to investigate. After 20 minutes of calling, Brad doesn't see the buck, so he continues along the bottom.
Shoot, what was that? It may have been him in the trees. Shoot. Oh, dang it. I didn't know that buck was right there. So, wind swirled. And, or he saw me coming in and waited to bolt a little bit later, but it's too bad. I was close. But what are you gonna do? Down to the 11th hour, see what I could put together.
As Brad heads back to the cabin for a midday break, he has a mishap.
No. Well, adding insult to injury. The car just started pulling hard left, pulled over, and found this. So, preparing for this trip, took everything out, set up the truck the way I wanted it, and then put these two back in, but not the crossbar to get leverage. So, I'm going to try to manually force the jack to lift this truck.
Before Brad's frustration reaches a boiling point, Willie arrives with a complete jack and helps Brad change the tire.
Now back to our regular scheduled programming.
It's their last afternoon. The guys separate, hoping to increase their chances. Willie heads higher in the Badlands while Brad hunts lower. They're trying to locate the bachelor group.
I see antler tips are coming. They're coming across that flat, all 7 of them. They're gonna go below that knoll and then they may come within range.
The bachelor group suddenly appears and is heading his way.
91 yards. He's getting further out of range. I hope the other ones come closer. They're all following the same path. Unbelievable. Across the top's pretty relaxed. They unfortunately didn't come close enough.
With only an hour or so of daylight on the last day, Willie moves through the Badlands, hoping to get in range of the bucks before sundown.
Oh, there they are, bedded down. Gonna creep in closer. I'm at just about 60 yards. Shoot, they're up. They probably heard the ice crunching under my feet. Oh, dang, get that close again. Just about did it, but they boogered. Very frustrating.
Even though we didn't pull back the bows with shot opportunities, this was an incredible hunt. We both had plenty of stalking opportunities on some great looking bucks. To be able to share this experience with Brad is what hunting is all about, and I'm already looking forward to returning to the Badlands of South Dakota next fall.